This is Doug with the Practicing Accountant Podcast. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Today we're going to be talking about the power of mindset and vision and how important it is when you are building your firm. We hope you enjoy this episode. I tend to, depending on the day, there's just like themes that pop up each day. And I've shared with you a little bit already, but there's this theme of mindset that's popping up in some of my clients today that I keep bumping into, not just with my clients, but I bump into it into the world. And do you blame generations for things?
Yeah.
Do you ever say something like, well, they're just fill in the blank. They're just a boomer, or they're just a millennial.
Effing boomers. Yeah.
Effing boomer.
Kids these days.
Z's and Y's and X's and whatever the next one's going to be. Like a lot of the blame that I hear is just a blame in how people how they hold a mindset. Like, there's certain mindsets that are being attributed to these generations that may or may not be true or not. But I guess my point is this, because I'm babbling. Like, mindset is just so important. And it just keeps popping up for me. And so that's why I wanted to talk about it today. But I'm actually going to open this with a story.
Cool.
And the story is from a book I'm holding up here. It's called A Message to Garcia. And this is an old book, even older than I am. It is 1928 is when this was originally published. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, obviously. I'm just going to read you a page or two here. A message to Garcia. In all this Cuban business, there's one man stands out on the horizon of my memory like Mars at perihelion. When war broke out between Spain and the United States, it was very necessary to communicate quickly with the leader of the insurgents. Garcia, the insurgent, was somewhere in the mountain fastness of Cuba. No one knew where. No mail or telegraph message could reach him. The president must secure his cooperation and quickly. What to do? Someone said to the president, there is a fellow by the name of Rowan who will find Garcia for you if anyone can. Rowan was sent for and given a letter to be delivered to Garcia. How the fellow by the name of Rowan took the letter, sealed it up in an oilskin pouch, strapped it over his heart, in 4 days landed by night off the coast of Cuba from an open boat, disappeared into the jungle, and in 3 weeks came out on the other side of the island, having traversed a hostile country on foot and delivered his letter to Garcia, are things I have no special desire now to tell in detail. The point that I wish to make is this. President McKinley gave Rowan a letter to be delivered to Garcia. Rowan took the letter and did not ask, where is he at?
Nice.
What do you take away from that?
No excuses. Just get the job done.
Yeah, it's a type of mindset that I think is rare. It's instead of saying, okay, what time, when do you need it there by, which plane should I take, or how should I get there, what should I wear, or what time do you need me to come pick up the letter, or who's going to get me on the other side, how do I get out? Like, there's, a ton of questions that could have been asked that would have slowed the process down. In today's age, there would have been 400 emails that went back and forth just to figure out how to get this letter to Garcia. And then there would have been 12 meetings that got set up to talk about who's doing what, and then a RACI matrix built, assigning responsibility and accountability and all that project management shit. Like it would have taken, weeks to even get a hold of the letter, let alone book the airfare. This is Doug again. My apologies for interrupting this episode of the Practicing Accountant Podcast, but wanted to remind you of our membership with thepracticingaccountant.com. In our membership, you'll find access to group coaching, training, and plenty of fun stuff. And we do hope that you join us there. Again, please visit us at www.thepracticingaccountant.com to learn more. Now back to the episode. Now this is just a story, but it highlights, I think, the mindset concerns that I'm having. And there's a lot of concerns. There's a lot of concerns I have about people making work for other people, about finding ways to stay busy that are unproductive. That email has turned into this volleying ping pong game where we just keep knocking it back into each other's court. Now, how do I think about this in the terms of an accountant? I think accountants are really good at making work for themselves. I think accountants are really good at finding ways to stay busy. And I think they could use a little bit of a message to Garcia to consider what it is they need to be doing for their business. And it's not so simple as figure it out. I'd love to say it is like, just figure it out. But the truth is what Rowan had was a clear objective. I need to get this letter to this man. How many accountants have a clear objective in their business? Right? How many have like a clear
other than grow?
Grow, right? Yeah. If you asked, I'd love to tell you the percentage, but we did a survey, and of 100 accountants surveyed, we asked them what their vision was, and 94% of them said growth. I would imagine there's probably some truth to that. Like we may not be far off, and it's like grow. And where does that come from? Like you and I have talked about this before, but I don't believe in the whole if you're not growing, you're dying. Like I think it's bullshit. I think in some circumstances that makes sense. In some markets that makes sense. Accounting, I don't think is one of them. Like an accounting firm should grow to the point where the owner is content and satisfied. I've heard of accounting firms grow either to a revenue size or a number of client size, and then they snap a Polaroid and they stay there. Why? Because they're happy. And now do they have trouble keeping people because they can't promote and move up within? No, they don't, because people turn over. They take other jobs, they leave. Like there's nothing wrong with having a vision that says, I want to get to X amount of revenue and I never want to have another employee. I'm sure you bumped into an accountant or two that says, I don't want to hire anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, great. If that's your vision, if that's your destiny, if that's your Garcia, so be it. So I guess my mindset is it's hard to have this type of mindset when you don't have a vision, if you don't have a target, if you don't, I'm going to start using this now, if you don't have a Garcia. and I think that would be, I guess that's my challenge today, for anyone who has time to listen to this. It's step back for a second and ask yourself, what is it you're striving to do? What are you intending to do? Forget about how, because that's where everything gets screwed up. If you go back to this Garcia analogy, like having the meeting, sending the emails, trying to figure it out, who's going to book it, who's responsible for this, like that's all this how bullshit that prevents us from achieving what ultimately we're capable of or want. So forget how. Just choose your Garcia, choose your vision, choose what you want to get out of this business that you're in. And I guess, we went through the sinister 6 of accounting traits that we tend to find that are difficult for an accountant to be successful with. And one of them was planning, knowing what it is that you plan to do and you plan to achieve with your business. And I think that remains a great opportunity, especially this time of year, post 15, whether it's you and a bunch of others, whatever the size, I don't care. But be absolutely clear on what it is you're trying to build. I'm talking too much. What do you think?
Yep, it's planting season right now, or we're planting season. We had the analogy that tax season is harvest season. We'll start planting the seeds of to grow your vision for next tax season. And this is the window. There's 2 short windows. It's now and after extensions in October, November, and that's it.
And we know in November you're not going to have space to do anything because you're going to be sucked in the holidays, and next thing you know, you're buying Christmas gifts and you're putting up the Christmas tree, and there's just no time there. There's no space there. Like the space is now. Like the clock started ticking, and I joked before, and I'll joke again. Like my favorite scene of that movie Elf is, when they get done with Christmas and Santa Claus comes back to the North Pole and all the elves are running around with their champagne and they're celebrating, and Santa gets up there and is like, all right, everybody, great job this year. Now let's get back to work and start getting ready for next Christmas. And everyone's cheering like, yeah, we get to go, get ready for next Christmas. Like we're getting ready for busy season now. And it's much as it makes anyone want to puke, that
Yeah.
we're talking about this in this timing. I get it. I know. But if we want to make a difference in next busy season, at some point we got to break the wheel, break the hamster wheel. And it happens now. Where are we going? Where do I want this to go? Where is my Garcia? And then we can talk about the how. Then we can make it happen. Then we can really create this mindset where we are getting it done rather than just creating more to do.
Awesome.
Those are my thoughts today.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Practicing Accountant Podcast. We hope that you've taken away some thoughts on the role of mindset and vision in building a successful accounting practice, how having a clear objective and how it can transform your approach to not only being in the business, but also on it. Thank you again for watching this episode. We hope you share and like it. And please visit us at www.thepracticingaccountant.com to learn more about us. We look forward to having you for the next episode. Thanks for watching.